All right. Today's Big Day Fix, local musician, great story. Discovered and restored tracks from 1985, creating a newly released album that is benefiting a great cause. Rob Stepen worked with the legendary Chicago music producer Steve Albini to create Alternate View. Proceeds go to Joey's Song, that's a nonprofit supporting much-needed epilepsy research. Rob Stepen and the Generations joining us today ahead of the concert coming up just on the 28th. I love the whole storyline. By the way, welcome one and all. So glad you're here. So you did this in 85.
I did.
You stored it in the attic on a reel-to-reel. You didn't actually listen to it?
I couldn't.
But then, because you didn't have anything to hear it on.
Yeah, I didn't
So
have
then
a
you
reel
find
to
it up
play.
there, and then what happens after that?
After that, I asked a friend of mine, Jim Perkulowitz, how I could restore these tapes and how I could get them digitized because I couldn't listen to them.
Right.
And so Pat, he said, hey, I got a guy. His guy was Steve Albini, you know? So I said, okay. I met with Steve Albini. He restored them. He digitized them. And then Steve said, why don't you get a brand new band in, a nice 2023 version of that band? Mm-hmm. And so we recorded, we mastered it, and we actually pressed this album at Third Man Records in Detroit.
Can you show that right to the camera? So that's a little bit of old school with modern day technology, and the LPs are so hip with the younger crowd, shall we say, these days.
Absolutely. And, you know, it is definitely coming back. I would say that everybody's starting to dust off their turntables, or as they say, record players. I haven't heard that term in a while. So it's great.
I'm kicking myself like I threw it out in all those records, but whatever. That's a story for a different day.
Well, I'll buy you one for Christmas.
Okay, that sounds like a deal. Talk to me a little bit about the beneficiary nature of this performance, helping with the epilepsy to find a cure and research in Joey's and all that stuff, please.
Yeah, I always like to pay it forward, and so I chose a charity that had music and kids together.
Perfect.
And Joey's Song is, the founder is Mike Gomoll. His son, Joe, tragically passed away at the age of 5. And it was a rare form of pediatric epilepsy. And so he gets artists every year to help with donations and grants and research to help find a cure for this tragic disease.
What a great, taking like such a terrible thing and trying to make some good out of that.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine. Congratulations. I'm going to hold this. Can you tell us who you have here
let's start
with
the
new band, baby.
Let's start with Michael Kopstein. He is on lead guitar. Then we have Janet Jones, who sings and plays keyboards. Emmy Pakuda actually sings lead. And then in the back, we have Liz Ely on drums.
Killing it on the drums.
She is. And then Dave Jones, not to confuse you with Davey Jones from the Monkey, is on...
Now you're dating yourself.
Yes, and now he's on bass. And then we have Heather Bennett on background vocals.
Hello, one and all. What are you going to play for us?
We are going to play Your Way from that album that I just gave you, Pat.
Info on the event coming up on the 28th is on the screen right there. If you would, please take it away.
28 Mile Distilling Company, 7:30, the doors open.
Very good.
Just like a roller coaster, you take me up and then you bring me down. I feel like a prisoner, my emotions chained to the ground. You walk all over me, you think that I am just your fool. I've got some news for you, baby. There's a new set of rules through my You say you love me, then you walk away. You wanna stay out all night. I ask where you've been, but you won't say. I
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
Hello.
My progress is recorded. Hello. That's not on my computer. What's happening, gentlemen?
Not much. What's going on, Mike D?
Where you at, Florida?
No, I'm at home. I look like I got one of those beanie things on my head, don't I?
Oh, yeah. How are the storms for everybody, man?
Oh, it's pumping in right now here in beautiful Carroll Stream, Illinois.
The stream?
Carroll Stream. I live in the stream of Carroll.
Give us the Florida update, sir.
What do you want to know?
Is it still there?
Florida's still a state. Actually, I'm going through my contract with my new contractor that we are hiring to do our work. It's 360. No. It's right. That's 330 blah blah days since Hurricane Helene, and we still don't have an ounce any movement on the reconstruction. So we decided to opt out of our condo association contract, and we're doing it on our own.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll teach them.
That'll teach them, the sons of bitches. But other than that, Florida was great. Debbie and I went down for a few days to celebrate our 7th anniversary, our nuptials. We went back to the stomping grounds where we got married, and we spent a few days down there alone. And then we spent some time with my dad and with her parents. So it was good. Good little getaway.
Happy anniversary, sir.
Appreciate that.
Rhodesy.
Yo, buddy.
Were you employed this weekend?
I was.
Fuck.
Well, I played Thursday at the Buffalo Grove concert series with my friends in Focal Point. place, like an
That's a nice-
amphitheater.
yeah,
I think
nice joint.
I forget what it's called. It's something amphitheater.
The Buffalo Grove Amphitheater?
I just play drums. I just show up.
You know, does it really matter? I mean, where you're at? I mean, from your vantage point, being a drummer, you're looking at the same thing all the time. You're musicians' asses. So it doesn't matter where you're at. It's the same thing.
True.
It's the
This
same
is true.
thing, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know if you're playing Buffalo Grove, you're playing Island Lake, you're
It
playing
all looks the same after a while.
I imagine.
And then Saturday I played a party, which is very interesting in Wadsworth. We got a little bit of rain and some lightning, but it was nothing like what Cary and a couple other cities I saw went through with the storms on Saturday.
So I have a question. While you're there, did you find out what a watt is worth? I know a couple watts. I'm wondering what they're worth, if anything.
Well, you know, I guess it just depends on where at in the Wadsworth
Who the
you're
watt
at.
is, right? I think
Yeah,
one
that's
watt
a
can
good
be worth
point.
more than another.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I will give a plug to Anthem. I'm wearing my Anthem shirt today.
Nice.
They just killed it yesterday.
Great band.
At Sundance Saloon. Yeah, oh man, they were awesome.
Great
Awesome.
band. A lot of talent.
Yeah, you close your back, you know, you turn your back to them and you just listen to them, and you think you're at a stick show.
They got their start from Infinity, right? Weren't some of the guys in Infinity, and they left Infinity and started?
Yeah, Kevin and I want to say the bass player, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, talented guy.
Definitely Kevin. I want to know the story behind the dog.
Well, he actually entered that dog into the Ugliest Dog competition and won. That was back in 2017, I think, right, Bongo?
Mikey Dermont got it right.
Wow. You guys are so full of shit.
What do you mean?
Totally.
What do you mean?
That is.
I don't know. I can barely see Mike, but I wasn't convinced. He didn't sell it good enough.
You can't see me?
No, you're kind of in a hue. There's like a.
Really?
You almost look like you're superimposed into your background.
Clean your lens, dude.
Well, there's a storm coming in right now. It's pouring.
So it's here. It's not coming in. It has arrived.
Well, it's arrived right now. Maybe that's what it is. I see you guys clearly. You guys don't see me?
I see Petey. I see Rhodesy. I see Mikey.
It's not clear?
You're not. It's hazy.
Bongo
Yeah.
Mike, how was that microburst by you, man? I saw that apartment complex get a little whack.
Yeah, it was not too far. I was here at my house having a little, gathering before the Los Lonely Boys show. And, at about 4:15, the sky started swirling and yeah. I mean, it didn't hit here, but you could feel it get colder, it got a lot colder and the winds were blowing and, and then I saw about the thing after the fact. Yeah.
Can't you play it up a little bit more? You saw a tree flying through the air. You saw.
Did you see some lady cruising on a bike with a basket and a dog in it? My ex-mother-in-law.
Yeah, and nothing like that happened. I swear.
Surrender Dorothy.
Yes.
It's a band.
Pete, where are you at? I know you're not in your usual studio.
Yeah, I got kicked out. I'm in the attic, making sure that everything's okay up here, checking on the spiders.
The official doghouse.
What do you got? A picture of Socrates behind you over there, over your right shoulder? What is that?
We like to say Socrates.
Socrates.
Yeah, I think that's what that is. That's a very rare photo.
Mike, how did you know it was Socrates?
Because that's the only name that guy pull out of my hat.
Yeah, because he's a.
Good.
Going back to my mythology and Greek
Stoics.
Oh yeah. That's it, man. That was pretty good though.
Yeah, it sounded legit.
I am on a roll. So who's our guest this evening?
Beth Miller.
Beth Miller's our guest. Beth was running around with a bunch of naked people this weekend. From what I could tell on Facebook. Naked Bob.
Who's Naked Bob?
I hear cackling.
It's an inside joke.
He was
I
not
got her
naked.
laughing.
He was not naked.
He was not naked from the toes down.
No, we were with Brian Priest and Eileen Priest,
Yeah.
Bob and Angie, Angie's sister. It was great, but we left a little early so we could get down to see Dan Peters' band.
Nice.
But yeah, I figured I'd hop on real quick. I want to introduce Rob when he gets on, and then
Awesome.
I gotta hop off because storms and insurance lady.
Yeah.
Oh,
The bell's
So,
gonna be ringing.
how many rings does it take to get you, Beth?
A what? A two?
A two. Pick up. You know, that's the second reference of that this week. No, in the last 2 days that's come out. That's pretty unique. I think I
Well,
need
we
a
pride
Tootsie Roll.
ourselves on being unique here, Mikey Dermont.
UNQ, UniQ.
No, I met him at a Sins and Roses show, and it kind of took off from there. And
On the stage?
yeah, I'll give you. He was actually just there to support friends like Erica Johnson Minor.
Gotcha.
He was not performing in Sins and Roses. He was just at the same show I was
So
at.
he's a band supporter. He's a scene supporter.
Mm-hmm. Wait till you get to know this guy.
As opposed to an athletic supporter.
So
if you
this
can't
guy-
be an athlete, be an athletic supporter.
Wow, we got the dream team on tonight, huh?
Man,
yeah,
I
we're
hope you're ready
sleeping.
for the questions, the rapid fire questions, Rob, because they're going to come in and they're going to come in fast.
Okay. Ready for you, Mike. Keep it going.
What's your
Love
favorite color?
Blue.
I'm so glad we could finally pin Rob down because this dude is busy.
Well, we'll get into that busyness.
I can't wait. I've been waiting for several months, and when Beth told me about you guys.
Yes.
All right, so tell me what you guys do during the day.
Well, we'll get into that. We want to get an introduction in who you are, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this isn't about us, Rob. This is all about you. So we'll ask the fucking questions here, pal.
Welcome.
KGB, we ask the questions. Beth Miller, who is this?
All right.
Yeah, I get enough of you guys. I want some Rob here. So, Rob, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such an honor to know you ever since we met at the Sins and Roses show. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Rob before I got to hop off and deal with some storm damage. But so Rob Stepen, this guy goes back to the 80s. So we're talking 4 decades of writing music, making music, performing music. My favorite part of his whole story is that, okay, so backtrack to 85, he records a couple of songs, gets them on reel to reel, gets these songs. He doesn't have a reel to reel player, so he can't do anything with them. So he put them in storage. Fast forward to 2023, he forgot he had these things and he found them and decided instead of letting them collect dust, he wanted to resurrect these things. So he connected with a guy, you guys may know this name, Steve Albini. Did I say that right, Rob? Steve Albini?
Yep.
Yeah. So Steve Albini's got this studio called Electrical Audio. And he teamed up with Rob and they resurrected these songs. They brought them back to life. Cool. They ended up doing an entire album called Alternative View, which was pressed at a place you guys might have heard of. It's called Third Man Records in Detroit. And so Rob had the Generations lay down the tracks for this album. And it's been history ever since. I've caught their shows a couple of times. The thing that I love about Rob's shows is that it's always for a charity, like NAMI, the National Alliance.
Mental illness. You're there, Beth.
Yep. And then we got Joey's song, which provides music therapy for kids with epilepsy. I got to see the Generations a couple weeks ago at the Des Plaines Theater. They blew the roof off. And so, yeah, I've been getting to know Rob and his awesome band, The Generations. It's a real classic rock feel. So pretty exciting. So, yeah, that's kind of Rob in a nutshell.
Thank you, Beth.
Welcome, Rob. Perfect timing on getting those tracks done.
Absolutely. It was a really cool process, Pete. Beth kind of laid it out for you, but back in the 80s, everything was on analog. And, my producer, like she said, handed me these 2 tapes, 2-inch reel-to-reel tapes after my session. And I'm like, hey, Victor, how can I listen to my songs? He goes, there you go, Rob. And I said, well, I don't have a 2-inch reel-to-reel player. He goes, nah, you'll figure it out. So I was dejected. I walked home, put him in a box, forgot about him for all those years, found him in my attic, and it was like a musical time capsule. It was like unreal. And so I had a friend, Jim Perkolowitz, he's another musician, and I said, hey, Jim, we were talking, who do you know that could, number one, restore these, and number two, digitize them, because I can't hear them, and everything now is digital. He says, I got a guy, and his guy was Steve Albini. Not just a guy, but the guy. And I'll tell you something, that was an unbelievable experience. What we went through with Steve, and, you know, God rest his soul, he passed away last year, and which was tragic for us and all the community. But we got to experience a genius. This guy was a well-oiled machine. And to tell you something, like even the chords he rapped a certain way, and he wrote certain things on the board a certain way. And I remember there was one part of our session where the drummer made a mistake. Now, you'd have to re-record, right, over because like Albini was doing analog. And so Steve says, hang on a second, Adam, I'm going to take care of that for you. Goes to the reel-to-reel machine, cuts out a rectangle of the tape, that 2-inch tape I'm talking about, and then hands it to Adam, my drummer, Adam Grace, amazing drummer, and then you didn't hear the mistake. It was like genius at work.
You're right. He passed away, and for the people that know Albini, was he the Madison, Wisconsin guy? I get him and Butch Vig. Butch
Vig is in Madison.
Okay.
And here's a cool fact about Butch Vig. Butch Vig sits on the board of directors of Joey Song. So those guys, Steve Albini and Butch Vig, competed back in the 90s. And so Butch is the drummer for Garbage.
Yeah.
And he actually produced one of Nirvana's albums. But then Steve also produced an album by Nirvana, and Steve did an amazing job. I'll tell you something, it was really cool. When I was listening to Steve's work with Nirvana, and he did Foo Fighters, he actually had this drum sound that was raw and real, and I was like, Steve, I need that. So what he did at our session, he took out about 12, 14 microphones just for the drum kit, and he mic'd Adam, with the drum kit up, and we were all blown away. You listen to Alternate View, this is the album, and it's really cool. You listen to that, you listen to the whole album, but you listen to drum tracks, and you'll hear Albini. Albini, what he did really cool, with us is that he was really good at capturing that raw sound as a band, as if the band was, he recorded as if the band was right in front of you. And so, which, you don't get that these days.
Well, he did, let's see, I think In Utero, I think he did Pixies.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, he was in the middle. I mean, he was AI before, he was human AI.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Those guys.
He did Cheap Trick. He did Page and Plant from Zeppelin. He did, as you said, Pete, the Pixies, PJ Harvey. I mean, all these great bands, and probably thousands of people he recorded. And so after he passed, we connected with his protege, Lauren McDonald, or as she's known as Mac. And so she is now taking on the responsibility of us helping us record our second album. And so, which is another cool venture, because have you guys ever heard of a band called The Flock?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
No.
Mitch the Lip, right?
Keep on going.
Oh,
Well, I
man,
mean,
I feel bad. I
I
feel
know-
bad if Mitch is in the band and I didn't know that. Sorry, Mitch, I didn't who you were.
Yeah, no, I know it because of Mitch the Lip. Yeah.
Yeah. Get the flock out of here.
Get the flock out.
I love hanging out with you guys. I could do this for hours, actually. So
It's
so
early.
the flock.
Be careful what you wish for.
Well, and Beth is an incredible and dear friend of mine, and thank God for Beth because she connected us together. But at our last gig, she helped raise a bunch of money for Joey's song, and God bless you, Beth. You're incredible. You totally rock. So the reason I ask you about the flock, I had a dear friend of mine, Freddie Glickstein, who was one of the founding members of the flock with Ronnie Cartman. Freddie played guitar and sang, Ronnie played drums and sang, but they had a violinist that you may have heard of, Jerry Goodman. Jerry Goodman was the extraordinary violinist who played with the Mahavishnu Orchestra and John McLaughlin after he played with the flock. So Freddie played in the 60s. They toured all over Europe. They toured America. They were really big back then. And after the flock, Freddie wrote this song called Heaven Bound. And so I wanted to honor Freddie's memory because he passed away tragically a couple of years ago by re-recording Heaven Bound. And we did in the studio, and we actually played it live at the Des Plaines Theater, and people went nuts over that.
That was a great show.
Yes.
Great show.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Des Plaines Theater?
Yeah, it's great.
Gorgeous. Love the meatballs.
Yes.
Ron Onesti meatballs. Can't be beat.
Yes, Ron.
Best meatball this side of
Ron's
Mississippi.
balls.
Hey.
They fed us in the green room, and we got the famous meatballs in the green room. It was.
We did.
Those meatballs make their way around town. That's for sure.
Totally. They treated us like royalty at the Des Plaines Theater. And it was, my sister asked me after the gig, she said, how did you feel being on that stage and playing on that stage, Rob? And I said, I'll tell you something. When I was younger and a little boy, Mom and Dad would always ask me, what do you want to do when you grow up, Rob? What do you want to do? And I would always tell them the same thing. I would say, I want to play a big theater and I want to be a rock star. And that night, my dream came true. That's and awesome. Ron Onesti and his whole staff, with Jackie and Dana, I mean, and Rain, they all made it happen for me, including Ron.
It looked like you were having as much fun as we were, to be honest. It looked like a blast up there. It seems like every time I turn on the morning news, there's Rob Stepen.
Musical mystery is solved. A new album on vinyl contains rediscovered tracks dating back to 1985. And an upcoming release party will celebrate the forgotten tunes and benefit epilepsy research. Joining us now from Dirty Nellies and Palatine is Rob Stepen, the founder of the Generations Band. Now, Rob, tell us the story behind these 1985 tracks and how they were rediscovered.
I'd be happy to, Suzanne. So back in '85, I recorded 2 songs professionally, and back then everything was analog, no digital. At the end of my session, the producer gave me these 2 tapes, and I said, hey, Victor, how am I going to listen to them? Because you'll figure it out. Put them in a box, found them 38 years later in my attic. And as I was rummaging through, so a friend of mine, Jim, connected me with Steve Albini to restore and digitize them. Then we had a mastered. Third Man Records in Detroit actually pressed the album. That's owned by Jack White. And the rest is history. So when I was thinking about a record release party, I thought of what is a great venue. Number 1, Dirty Nellies is an awesome venue. Number 2, I wanted to give back. I wanted to pay it forward because that's how my parents brought me up. And what I did was I researched something with music and kids my friend Phil told me about, which was Joey's song. And that is how this whole thing came together.
Tell me why you feel that Joey's song is so important to you and why you wanted to use the release party to benefit this organization.
I was introduced to Mike Gomoll, the founder of Joey's song, by Phil. And when he was telling me his journey 14 years ago, his son Joe passed away from a rare form of pediatric epilepsy. And when he was telling me that every year he gets artists to actually perform for donations and grants and research, I thought I've got to do the same thing, because I wanted to mix children and music together and how I could help and, like I said before, pay it forward.
That is really beautiful. Tell us what people can expect at the release party, and also the feeling that you have bringing back these songs from 38 years ago.
The feeling was exhilarating to me. I went through a period of creativity in the 80s, and I wanted to make it more relevant. And with Steve Albini, he actually helped me make these songs relevant. What people can expect, really 3 parts. We're going to hear from Mike Gomoll. He's going to talk about Joey's song. We're going to have a panel discussion on how you make a vinyl record in today's landscape. And then the band is going to rock out. I have a bunch of badass musicians they're going to help me rock this thing out.
I cannot wait, because I am obsessed with 80s music. I know you combine 80s and modern influence. Rob, thank you so much, because ahead at 9:40, the Generations Band is going to be performing for us, and we can't wait. Rob, thank you so much.
Thank you, Suzanne. It's a pleasure.
A new album on vinyl contains rediscovered tracks dating back to 1985, and an upcoming release party will celebrate the forgotten tunes and benefit epilepsy research. Joining us now again from Dirty Nellies and Palatine is Rob Stepen, the founder of the Generations Band. Rob, introduce us to your bandmates before you play us one of your songs, and tell us what the song is called.
Oh, great, Suzanne. So I'll introduce you in a second. Dirty Nellies, October 6th, doors open at 4:30. I'm going to start on my right on bass, that's Stacy. Right in the middle is Adam on drums. Monica is on lead vocals. We have Janet on keyboards and vocals, and Michael on guitar. The song is called Your Way, and the Generations are going to rock out for you right now.
I love it. Take it away. This morning, playing Your Way, the record release party. They're at Dirty Nellies next Sunday, October 6th, happening from 5 until 9 that night. Tickets $12 if you get them now, $15 at the door. This event benefiting Joey's Song, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting epilepsy research.
Or I open up a newspaper. There's Rob Stepen. Like, I've seen you on ABC.
He's a mob.
Fox 32, CBS. Seen you in the Daily Herald, The Patch, Lake County News. How do you get all this to happen? How is it that, like, I just turn on WGN and I'm like, oh, there's my friend. I know that guy.
I tell him I know Beth Miller.
And they get scared and they do what you say.
Oh no, they actually said, if you know Beth Miller, you got to come on. So what Beth's referring to is that we've been very fortunate and humbled, and I actually work hand in hand with a dear friend of mine, Michelle Mackey, and her right hand person, Kate. So we collaborate and come up with PR campaigns, and marketing is my background. So I love doing all the PR. I love doing the social media marketing. I do, e-blasts. I do text, blasts. And so to promote these gigs, you don't get to north of 200 people coming out, consistently unless you have a full-blown marketing plan. And Michelle and Mickey Media and Kate, they are the true rock stars. They make me shine on television. So they started when we were at Dirty Nelly's back last year. They got us on CBS News, and they interviewed me. CBS interviewed me, and then they also had the band play, which is really cool.
That was cool.
Then we got on WGN, and they interviewed me. And this was all for our record release party of Alternate View. After that, we were on WBBM radio. So that's another thing. Lisa Fielding was our MC, and she's on WBBM radio. She was actually MC of two of our shows. After that, they started getting us in the Tribune and all these, Lake County Sun and all these different, publications. All of a sudden, we were around, I think 237 people came to the Dirty Nelly show. And that was great because that show also, we promoted Joey's song, and we raised a bunch of money for Joey's song. The next show we played was 28 Mile Distilling Company up in Highwood. And for that, the band actually got a chance to go on WGN, and so, which was really, really, really cool. And we were also on Fox News. Later, we were on ABC News a couple of times. So what happens is they love the story. They love the fact that I was recorded by Steve Albini. They love the fact that who pressed my album, Third Man Records, Jack White from the White Stripes, owns that place. And then the fact that what I try to do is pay it forward so that people that are less fortunate can get some donations or sponsorships or grants or whatever it is. And the company I work for during the day is called Insperity. Insperity is a professional human resources company, but my mission is to help businesses succeed so communities prosper. We give millions of dollars back to the community. So for every dollar that Beth raised that night, Insperity matched dollar for dollar, which is really cool. And anything I do, like I sell merchandise, so you see the generations. So a portion of that goes to the charity that we choose. A portion of the album sales, a portion of the door sales, a portion of what Beth does, and then Insperity matches dollar for dollar, which is really cool. We also played Side Outs. That's where we raised money for NAMI. That was back in March. And again, great charity, great cause. And we were on television, we were on radio. We were actually, for the last show, we were on iHeartRadio, and we were on a couple other radio stations. So WCFL, I believe, used to be, it's 8:20 a.m. We were on that radio. So the bottom line is that people like the story. It's a great story. And by the way, the band is kind of good. I mean, we rock out. We can raise the roof at any one of these venues. But truth of the matter is that I'm so humbled and honored to be playing with the musicians I play with. They are badass musicians. There's no question that every single member of my band elevates the level of our play. And I'm just thrilled to play with them every single gig.
The passion is definitely there, man, Rob. I hear it, I see it in your face, and that's what makes the difference. I mean, we've all been in bands and have done the music thing, and it comes to a point in time, at least it did for me, where it became an obligation, where playing out was okay. I had to go do this gig because I'm getting paid. I love the passion that you're expressing here in this interview today. That's the deal maker right there for me. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Well,
Appreciate that,
it's
Mike.
very similar to what you do, Mike, with Coterie.
Yeah, I
It's
think
about paying it forward.
yeah, the mission is exactly spot on, right? And Rob talked about that. You know, he's been fortunate. He's done a lot of things in his career, and now it's time to pay it forward, he said. And that's really what the foundation is for Coterie. I think the biggest difference is we mix it up a little bit with the different, musicians that we bring in and the themes. It sounds like Generations, they've got their set musicians, which is great, right? But the mission is still the same. It's not about me, it's about helping someone else. And that's what I love to hear.
You're spot on. And what I will tell you is that we have a core group of musicians, but we've had other musicians come in and out
awesome.
of the Generations. And so we are trying to do something very unique in March. And I did this about 3 years ago with this gentleman. Have you heard of, and then before Beth leaves, I got to tell the story about the green room with Beth. You can't leave unless I tell you that story. So have you ever heard of Sandy Gennaro? So Sandy is like a brother to me.
Okay.
He is an amazing person. He also gives and pays it forward like everybody on this call. So Sandy was the original drummer of Cyndi Lauper.
Oh wow.
He also drummed for Joan Jett, the Monkees, Mamas and the Papas, Bo Diddley, Pat Travers.
Wow.
And I am trying to get him, he lives in Nashville. I'm trying to get him next year to fly out because during his day job he is a keynote speaker for Vistage, which is like a networking resource group. And so he'll weave his musical journey into a story. He actually brings his drum kit because he backed up Queen. I saw pictures of him and Brian May and Freddie Mercury. I'm like, dude, how many people was in that audience? He's like 110,000. I'm like, oh my God. Can you imagine playing for that many people? Yeah, he backed them up in another band, I think a German band. He and I are working out next year for him to come out. And what he'll do is he'll come join the Generations for a few songs. He wrote a book. He has drumsticks. He will sign the book. We'll raise money that way, in addition to all the other ways that we are raising money.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm always like
green room story.
Yes, green room. All right. So, you think of green rooms, and some of the green rooms, they say, oh yeah, we have a green room. It's kind of like this basement.
It's like an outhouse. Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah. So, but some are decent. I'm not saying that all are bad, but some are decent. Well, the Desplaines Theater had this unbelievable green room, all the pictures of like all these famous people on there. And then they had a dressing room for every member of the Generations. There were 6 dressing rooms. So Beth comes waddling in. She's going to, use one of the dressing rooms, and she's going to, get ready for the show. And they asked us to sign the doors of the dressing room because like Rath and all these other people are signing the doors. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so we all signed the doors, and they actually had posters that they had us sign so that they could sell them for charity. They had to sign albums so that we would, give those out and sell those for our charities too. And it was just such a great experience back there. Mike Gomoll from Joey's Song came, and he was backstage with us. Mike, actually, to tell you the story a little bit deeper and why this is so important and near and dear to my heart, Mike's son, Joe, tragically passed away from a rare form of pediatric epilepsy at the age of 5, or a little bit before 5. So for the last 15 years, Mike has been creating awareness for pediatric epilepsy and regular epilepsy. And so when he told me this story, I mean, it brought tears to my eyes, about his son. He gets really big musicians like Butch Vig, like the Go-Go's, like the Goo Goo Dolls, like I'm trying to think who else he got. The Letters of Cleo, like all these big belly came, Cheap Trick came, like all these great musicians come once a year to the Freezing Man concert in January. And I went this year and it blew my mind. And they just come in. Yeah, it's in Madison, Wisconsin, and they raise a ton of money for Joey's song. And so, like during the year, he does things like with me and other people, and so just to be a part of that whole ecosystem was thrilling for me. And then I went backstage, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're with the Generations. I heard about you." And I'm like, "Come on, this just doesn't happen, right?"
That's great. I do have one follow-up question on the green
Sure.
room experience and signing the doors. Since Beth was allowed to change, costumes, did she sign the door too?
No.
Well,
Beth.
I wanted her to sign the doors, but she was just getting ready and getting into it, and so I think that
didn't feel that, because I was not. If I wasn't performing on the stage, I wasn't going to sign the door. Had you had me up there doing cowbell, I'll sign the door. But only I think that it should that special privilege should be reserved just for the people who get up on that stage and give us their all. I'm just hanging out in the lobby. I just took a bunch of pictures of the door and enjoyed them and sent them out to people that I knew were fans of certain names. But no, if I get up on stage and do cowbell, then I'll sign the door.
Well, she's being very humble. We had her come on stage. She did come on stage with Mike Gomoll, and they did a 50-50 raffle. So she was I have pictures of her on stage.
If she didn't play the cowbell, had she hit it just once, or maybe a triangle.
All right, we've got a couple of songs, Beth.
Doing my finger guns and stuff, just working the crowd.
Did you just say finger guns?
She said finger.
She could. We actually do. Trying to think. We do a few songs, Beth, that you can play cowbell on. You could do "Never Been Any Reason" by Head East.
Head East.
That has cowbell. The Heaven Bound has cowbell in that. We're an American Band.
There you go.
By Grand Funk.
And as Christopher Walken would say, never too much, right? Never enough cowbell.
Right. All right. So what I hear from this is that, Beth, if we get back to play the Displays Theater, you will sign the doors. When? Yeah, I'm sorry. Not if. No.
Ron Onesti, I know he listens to this podcast every week. You got to get the Generations
Get him back on, Ron.
Get Ron on there with his balls.
We'll get him on with his balls.
Maybe we could bring Sandy Gennaro with us to the Displays Theater, and that will we could do a whole event with Ron in that bourbon suite that he has upstairs. It's really cool.
Yeah, that green room is really neat too. It's got like the retro booths, like the old, 50s, ice cream shop or diner. It's really neat back there.
Isn't it funny how those little, I'm not going to say little, but those little things like the green room make such a big difference to the performers, to the artists.
Hey, Ron, put a little tunnel out there because it gets a little chilly when you have to go out and go out. I'm just saying.
Gotta walk across the alley.
No, it just goes to show, that some of these club owners, just how much they appreciate what we do. And I know they bring in national acts, but they treat the local acts exactly the same way. And Ron is a perfect example of that. And I know this isn't the Ron Onesti show. It's the Rob Stepen show. So we want to talk about it.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Jackie that took care of us backstage, that took care of us and took care of the food and all this. And she told me that her favorite story was, she said, we're in Des Plaines. There's a homeless population here. And so we do have a lot of homeless people in the back alley. And she said, I was waiting for Billy Bob Thornton to arrive. He was due to arrive in an hour. And I see this homeless guy out back smoking, and I don't want to disturb him. Billy's not set to arrive for a while. I don't want to bother this guy. I keep kind of peeking out. He's still there. It's getting arrival time. But I just don't want to bother this guy. It's just, I want to leave him be until I have to ask him to leave. The guy walks up to her. It's Billy Bob Thornton. He said, I saw what you were trying to do for the last hour. You're trying to politely, get me to move to clear the way for me to come in. But
You
he
gotta
thought that
love,
was,
you gotta love Landman. He's quite the character, isn't he?
oh yeah. He took Jackie around for a walk. He said, I like you. You're very kind. Let's go for a walk. She said the storm siren started going off, and she said, Billy, we should get inside. And Billy said, I'm from the Midwest. This ain't nothing.
You're right. Jackie took care of us. Like we get there, we do our sound check, set up, do our sound check. She goes, yeah, I got some lunch for you. I'm like, lunch? So she made us all this lunch, and, Ron, and her took care of us. And then later on, she made us, they brought in the Ron Onesti meatballs, and they took care of there was a few people that wanted some, dietary restriction type items, and they took care of that. And so she's like, well, what do you want on your ride? Or she's asking me all these questions. And I said, why don't you just give me a bucket of green M&Ms? And she started laughing. And I said, no, I'm just joking,
So Rob, we have soundtracks of a generation, and then we have generations. I know soundtracks of a generation. Talk to me about generations, because I don't get out of my basement.
Thank you, Pete.
Wait, what?
I said thank you because I want to talk about generations.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we know who they are, where they get started. We know a little bit about the mission, but let's talk about generations.
You want to talk about the generations? Because there's two bands out there. One is just Generations, which is Dave Huizinga, and I know Dave.
Okay,
because one of
my thing too, right? He does the
I think so. Yeah, he does like some country. He does he's a great singer. By the way, he used to be in a band called Chariot back in the 80s. And I was one of the roadies for Chariot for a couple of shows. And so my dear friend is Saturday June with the Saturday June band. But back then he was with the Pace. He played with Cheeky Beggars. He played with all these great bands. And he's been a mentor to me. He's very talented. So he introduces me to Dave, and they wanted me to roadie. And I said, sure, no problem. And there's this other guy that was roading, with me, and just happens to be the leader nowadays of Pearl Jam.
Say what?
Little Eddie Vedder?
Well, Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder was the other. Eddie Vedder and I roadied for Chariot. And I didn't know who the guy is. He was a very quiet. He's really cool dude. And, we roadied for Chariot. So that's a Dave Huizinga story for you. So he plays in a band, one of his bands, he plays in many bands, is just Generations. And I remember I came up to him, I said, I'm the Generations. We checked it out legally. We're good. You're Generations.
Well,
so
it's funny because I almost started a band called Doors, because there was The Doors. Doors. So now, thank you for clarifying that, because I would have never known there was a difference between The Generations and Generations. So you are the Generations.
And I was going to ask the question too, because I saw a band called Generations that didn't do any originals. It was all cover tunes, like stuff from the 60s. That's his band, right?
That's his band, yes.
That's what you think of. That's what you think of.
Right. Yeah. So what we do is we actually do a combination of original tunes. But the majority are cover tunes, because people, they have their own ideas of what they want to hear, and let's face it, I think that, nowadays the feedback that I've gotten from all these different people who keep on coming back and back and back to our shows is what we play in a set brings them back to high school or college, or, like we'll do Cheap Trick. We'll do, I said, Head East. We'll do Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams, Steely Dan, China Grove, We're an American Band, Call Me by Blondie, Rebel Yell by, Billy Idol. And, we'll even do Lil Funk or R&B. We do like Kiss by Prince. We'll do Stevie Wonder, I Wish. We play Toto, Africa. Do a little Beatles back in the USSR. I'm a Believer, Smash Mouth version. you know. Barracuda by Heart, Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Bad Company. Baba O'Reilly's always a hit. Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin. Joan Jett, I love rock and roll. So that was our set list from last time, and then we also did some originals in there as well. So you can see that it kind of brings you back in time, to when you were in high school and you were having fun and you remember that song. That just resonates with you. And I have so many people that come out to our gigs and just say, we love coming out, number one, to support the charity, number two, to support you, number three, to dance or to groove and to sing along with you. There was so many people singing our songs at the last show with us.
Even the security guards were.
Oh my God, they were. Here's a funny story about the security guards. So they have these, you have these green wristbands, to go backstage and, all that stuff. And so mine, I don't know, fell off or whatever. So I didn't have mine, but I'm dressed up to go on stage, right? So I'm trying to get backstage to see the backup band, and the security guard wouldn't let me backstage. I said, look, dude, I am in the next band. So I had to get somebody in the audience to give me their green. I said, look, I'll give you one. And I came back and I gave her one from the green room.
They're strict.
There's my security. They are. But you know what? Good for them. I love their security. Their security guys were protecting us, and they were all around us. When we did a meet and greet, we were surrounded by security guards. When we were, the backstage areas, security guards. So Ron knows how to manage that facility, no doubt.
What's it like to go back to the college days and hear yourself?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I wish that I can go back in time in that time machine to hear how I would have sounded back then, because I think I would have done things differently, back then. And by the way, on alternate view, to answer your question, on alternate view, on side B are the 1985 versions of the songs, and 2023 are in side A. So if you want to hear me, Pete, I'll get you an album. Do you have a turntable?
I got $20 and I can find one at the garage sale. Yep.
I love that idea, though. What a great concept, man.
Yeah.
Then and now.
Cool?
It's crazy that these things got brought back to life after all those years of just being sitting up there doing nothing. And
by the way, when I contacted Steve Albini about them and I said, can you restore these? I was in his studio. I said, can you restore? He says, well, Rob, they've been up in your attic for 38 years. I will try my best. And the process is this. And he tells me the whole remember, this guy's an analytical dude. So he's like, we have to bake them. We have to get all the moisture out. And once we get the moisture, we got to test it. He's like going through this whole thing. I'm like, just restore them.
So I got to ask, man, the business side of me is coming out here. What's the ROI on that, dude? You got to put, that must have cost a lot of money to do. And you don't have to tell me what it cost, but my goodness.
Yeah, you do. How much was it?
I really want to know.
You think about it. If they were up there for 38 years, man, I go up to my attic every year to get Christmas stuff out, and regardless, something's trashed. That 12 months, it was whatever, 11 months it sat up there, something's getting trashed in my Christmas collection. I can only imagine what your freaking tapes looked like.
Oh, it was bad. Albini, again, is a magician. He restored these
Rich
things.
magician.
I could not. You know what, though? Take a guess how, because I had the two tapes. Take a guess how much per tape he charged me.
$1 million.
$2,000. $2,000.
No, just to not to record with him, not any of that. Take a guess how much he baked the tapes and he restored them and he gave me a thumb drive and he put it. I think he even put it on a CD. So take a guess.
$1,000.
So you say okay. Mike's guess is $1,000.
I say bag.
Instead of dime bag.
Okay.
I don't know.
$200.
There's a friend card in here. I'm feeling a friend card for some reason.
Friend card. Okay.
Like a get off my back discount or something like that kind of thing.
You said two Bongo? You said two G?
Yeah,
$2,000.
I said 200.
200, Beth.
50 bucks.
I got 200.
I'm going with
$50.
5. I'm going with
Pete,
5.
Pete wins. He charged me $100 per tape.
Wow.
Is that not insane?
Wow.
That guy was so generous to me, and I just can't appreciate him enough.
Wow.
You know, and his whole
Card.
studio, everybody, you know, there, just amazing people.
Guys, I gotta run. Duty calls. My office phone's ringing off the
You
hook.
said duty.
Hey, Judy.
So hard to leave. It's been so hard to leave, but my phone keeps ringing off the hook.
Can you put your red sweater on first?
Are you wearing khakis?
Like a good neighbor.
Well, you know what? We were
Who wrote that theme song? Who wrote the State Farm theme song?
Gary Manilow.
Generations.
No, it was Gary Manilow. He did State Farm. He did Dr. Pepper. He did McDonald's back in the day. He was a jingle writer.
Yeah. All right. Love you guys. Have fun.
Take care,
You
Beth.
don't
Thank
need
you.
no more.
love you, Beth.
Rob,
Beth,
I'll talk to you soon.
amazing.
Thank you. Bye.
We were able to keep Beth a lot longer than she
Yeah, but now
originally.
State Farm's going to have some pissed off customers because they got trees falling down, they got floods. Their NPS, we just killed their NPS score, man. Do the shitter.
That's net
That's
promoter
okay. I
score
like
for those.
Progressive better anyway.
Hey, Rob, I wonder if he was still around, still alive, and I wonder what Butch Vig has to say about it, because you know everybody, Rob. All this stuff with AI and what's going on now. How do you think his take would have been, and what do you think Butch's take is on all this?
Well, I know what Butch's take is because I saw him at the Freezing Man concert, and I handed him, you know, the Generations album.
That's twice you did that. Great marketing, by the way.
Yes. So once I gave him that album, he gave me the biggest hug. He's like, Steve Albini was the greatest guy. They had like this friendly competitor type of situation, you know, but they really respected one another. And I would say that both those guys, you know, would be proud of what we're doing and proud of how we're raising money for charities like Joey Song and other charities as well. And we don't, you know, we don't just isolate it just to one or two charities. We're looking for our next gig, which should be October, November timeframe. Our promoter / booking agent has to get back to me, Joey DeMarco, and we'll see where
Shameless
he books
plug for
us.
Joey DeMarco.
Hey, Joey,
There you go.
get a regular cell phone. He's still carrying around one of those
Crank phones, like the military.
brick
Oh, he's got a
phones?
bag phone. He's got a bag phone.
Yeah, brick phone.
Okay. So we'll see where he books us, but I think what we'll do is we'll mix it up a little bit. I've been approached by guitars over guns. That's a good one. Autism is another good one. So there's other people that I'm in talks with.
There's a ton of them out there, you know, and when I look for charities, I always try to stay local as I can, right? I always want to help in my backyard. And then I always look at, you know, how much of the funds are they actually using, right, that aren't going to administration and CEOs, right? So there's a percentage you could, if you want to do your own work, and you probably have. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I get it though, man. It's you know, you using a booking agent to do this stuff can be a little bit of a challenge, right? Because I don't know if you have particular venues you want to play at, or if you know you're specific, or those venues want you. I try to keep it, you know, all within a kind of a little radius here and not travel too far outside of that. How many shows do you guys do a year then, Rob?
We play out every 2 or 3 months because, you know, when I first talked to Joey about, you know, this, and by the way, my relationship with Joey goes back to the 80s.
Oh, Joey's great. We love Joey.
So
yeah.
I did some work with a band called Mad Fox, and Joey's band Risk would back us up. So how many people know that Joey was the lead singer of Risk? All right.
His brother Sam was in the band.
Amazing voice. So in our last gig, you know, just as a side note, Joey said that his dream would be to play a song on stage with the Generations and sing with us. I said I would love to.
I would pay to see that. Happen. I would love to see Joey sing.
So when Joey and I were originally putting this together, Mike, one of the things that he asked me was how often do you want to play? Because he has people playing every week, every other week, every month. I said, I don't want to dilute the brand of the band. And so the reason, part of the reason I get so many people that come out to see us is because I'm not playing every week. If I played every week, what, 20, 30, 40 people come out, maybe 50, but it's a special occasion. It's a special event. We get people like Mike Gomoll to come down from Madison, Wisconsin to get up on stage and talk a little bit about the charity. And we've had that several times. We had NAMI come up on stage and talk about the charity. So, and then talk about like their stories. We get people to tell their stories, and that pulls on the heartstrings of people at these events.
Rob, I'd love to talk to you more about this offline, because you're reading, either I'm reading from your script or you're reading from my script. We have so much in common when it comes to this concept. Love it.
Yeah, I totally agree, Mike. And you told me that you're in a band.
I'm no longer in a band. I was in a band for several years. Now I do something similar to what you're doing. I run a group called the Coterie, or the Coterie, which is twice a year we do events. We pick a different theme for every show. So this next one coming up is Yacht Rock, and then we invite different musicians from the Chicagoland area. The musicians are never the same. It's always we always try to mix it up, and we always do the shows to raise money for a designated charity, and the charity changes every time, right? So one time we may do it for Parkinson's, or you mentioned diabetes. We do it for the VA home over here down near Chicago. So it really just depends on the on what our heart feels like doing for that particular event. But it's all about giving, right? And we do 2 shows a year. I don't have the time or the attention span to do any more than that. I've got really bad ADD, and it's hard to focus on just the 2 shows that we do.
It is hard, and I will say this, that people always ask me where I get this from. And it sounds like it's in your DNA. It's definitely in my DNA. I'm sure it's in everybody else's. When I was younger, my parents really embedded in myself, my brother Dave, my sister Sue, this whole idea to pay it forward and to do things for others, and don't expect it to come back to you. If it does, it kind of warms your heart. But what you're doing for others should warm your heart.
Absolutely.
And that's really where I get this from.
So Rob, talk to me about the 80s, man. Go through the decades and just give me a little, tell me your journey through your musical.
In the 80s, I recorded those tracks with a band, like mid 80s. We were a close, knit group, fun group of musicians. And the sessions were mostly wrapped around creativity. And that was very fulfilling to me, to answer your question, Pete. So, but it, back then, I mean, there was so much energy. Remember all the bands, remember like all these bands on MTV, and I would watch those.
I saw you wearing a TUTS shirt. Tell people about TUTS and how that played a role in Sheffield and Belmont back in the day.
All right, so what Pete's referring to is at the Side Out show on March 28th, I wore a TUTS shirt. Now, has anybody been to TUTS? All right, Pete's been to TUTS. So TUTS, interesting bar, it was off of Belmont, and it was really hard for the musicians to get all their rig up on stage, because they had this huge staircase that everybody, and like we had this like big piano, like a piano that we had, 2-3 people had to carry up this rickety old stairs to get up to TUTS. And it was just this like showcase bar. I remember meeting Todd Rundgren. He was just playing a pinball machine in there. You don't know who you would meet. Backstage one time, Rick Nielsen came back there and was hanging out with us. So TUTS is totally near and dear to my heart. I love that place.
Is that in Chicago, did you say?
In Chicago.
Avalon.
Yeah. And we don't have clubs, Pete, like that anymore. I wish we did. But I would go to TUTS. I would go there was a place called Gas Bars. There was a place called, back back in the 70s and early 80s, I think there was a place called Beginnings that was owned by the drummer of Chicago, or he was one of the investors in there. There was Night Moves up in Waukegan. That was a big bar. The Bighorn in Mundelein was another big
Which is
big
now
bar.
Sundance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sundance.
it's now Sundance, and Bobby owns that. And then the big one that I always went to was in the suburbs was Haymakers. Haymakers was an incredible, venue, and that was like you knew you made it. I remember I had some ins with Haymakers, and they let me know that this band called the Ready Men are going to come and play there. Now, if you've never heard of the Ready Men, that was Cheap Trick that was practicing under that name, and Cheap Trick played Haymakers in the 80s. I mean, how cool would that have been to just see, or the Randy, whatever they were calling themselves.
I love that concept. You know what, Mike? You guys should come up with a concept name. Call yourselves like Led Zeppelin and say Led Zeppelin's going to play at this little bar.
Yeah, you could do that. I remember like Thirsty Whale was big, Monopoly was big. Like all these bars were Huey's. There's another, all the stairs going up to Huey's off of Sheridan Road. I mean, there's so many. Mothers downtown.
Mothers.
Yeah.
Lounge Acts.
Lounge Acts, great bar. Yeah.
Susie Miller, please come on the show. Continue. Bring your husband.
Am I jogging all your memories
about
all those
bars?
Yeah. So we played all those bars. Yeah.
So that's the 80s, and then 90s, 2000. Like, what were you together the whole time? Did you break out, get together, different people coming in? It's so easy keeping a band together.
And was it still called the Generations back then? No, right?
Oh, this was all under Rob Stepen.
Okay,
it was kind of like Peter Gabriel. It was Robert Stepen, like Peter Gabriel, because it was that same concept back then. What's interesting, and Pete brings up this good point. What's interesting about today's groups versus when I played, like when I played in that band and in other bands when I was younger, you played as a group. And when things didn't work out, you'd break up and you'd find another band, and everybody would go their separate ways. Today, somebody doesn't like something, or something happens to somebody, or maybe something happens in your life that you can't commit to a band, and then somebody just leaves. Mm-hmm. And then you gotta replace that person. And that's been a challenge. I think not only for myself, I talked to my friend Sophie Haffer, and she has the same challenge. She plays in this Tuduxie Trucks band called Revelator, and she is a badass musician, and she can sing.
We know her well.
Steve Mortis.
We know her well. She's been on the show. She's a good friend of mine because of not Tuduxie Trucks, but I play with Zach Avery in Black Diamond Sessions, and that's her fiance.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And Pete played with her in Heart of Glass.
They're good friends of the show here.
My God.
Show.
Well, that's right. Then you played with Jen.
After all.
Yes.
Jen was the lead singer.
Yes.
And you played with Lori, who was in Bitch.
Yes.
See, I know all those people.
Oh my God.
So Sophie and I, we want to collaborate, and she's just such an amazing person. She's so down to earth. But so is it Bongo Mike? Is that what we call you?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Bongo.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to drop.
Because we got the other Mike,
Yeah, that's right.
Got to separate the two.
You're Bongo, and that's the other Mike.
Yeah.
I'm
All right, so I'm going to blow.
I'm Bango Mike, and he's Bongo Mike. We're the Bango Bongo brothers.
Bango and Bongo. Mike, Bongo Mike, I'm going to blow your mind right now.
Yeah.
Take a guess who my bass player was in 1985 on the alternate view.
Gotta be Todd. Gotta be Todd, because we're talking about it, right?
Todd Lazar. Yeah.
My buddy Todd Lazar, childhood
awesome.
friend.
Great bass player.
Todd and I play. He's an incredible bass player,
Yeah,
and
he
so
is.
Todd and I played in a band called Equinox when we were 13 years old.
Yeah.
And at that time, Todd's hands weren't big enough to play bass. He played guitar. I played drums.
Nice.
I also want to put a note out there that Todd Lazar will be playing bass on the next Coterie.
That is
October
correct.
25th at the Vixen.
That's
Yacht.
right. Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
What day is that?
From one of my songs too.
October 25th. It's just, we do all our shows on Sundays
No,
because I like to make them family events.
September, Mike.
I'm sorry, September.
September.
28th. I just gave you the Friction show.
Friction. Yeah.
So let me redo that. Todd will be playing bass on the next Coterie event on September 28th at the Vixen.
So Todd and I are in Black Diamond sessions together. We're also we're both a part of Soundtracks of a Generation, but we don't play in the same groups under that. You know, he does like the Irish Heartbeat and stuff like that. I'm in the Woodstock and I do the Concert for George. And
Nice.
and then we also play in the Derek Prosell and the All Star Mojo Band. So then again, there's their Mitch connection, right? So you're working with Mitch with the Flock. I work with Mitch in Soundtracks and in Derek Prosell, and
I think Mitch is kind of like Kevin Bacon, right? That's 6 degrees of separation.
he knows everyone. But he's always talked about the Flock, and he's mentioned your name. And I said, I don't know the guy. Now I know you. So
Now you
there
know
you
the
go.
guy.
Yeah,
Mitch has got a guy.
you got a guy.
Bob.
Bongo Mike, you got to know him a little bit better. Don't you have some questions to ask him?
Oh man, the fans want to know. The fans, these are the easy questions. I got a list. Look at it, wrote
Okay.
in. Yeah, this is all done by.
I'm
Stan.
ready.
All right.
Is this like the fire round or whatever?
This is it, man.
Rapid fire.
Rapid
Susie
fire.
from Peoria would like to know.
Yes, right, exactly. From Peoria. All right, we're gonna go with the very easy. You don't have to think too much about them. Just whatever pops in your mind.
Got it.
So, first and foremost, what is your favorite pig out food? Like, you know, you're gonna eat something. Is it pizza? Is it pasta? What is it? What's your favorite pig out food?
It's either Bert's or Pequod's Pizza.
Nice. All right, Bert's in Morton Grove. Very
Yep.
good. And well, Pequod's. There's
Yeah.
a Chicago
Yeah,
connection.
so either
Nice.
one of those. Yeah.
Ah, I like it. So you like the crust, right? You like that
The crust is amazing.
yeah.
Yes, I like that burnt crust. Yes.
burnt crust. I love it.
Two
Was
bites.
that,
Nobody
was
knows
that the
the
same
rules.
recipe as Gulliver? Or not Gulliver's? Yeah, Gulliver's on Howard.
No,
Was
it
it-
wasn't. It was Lefties had that same recipe,
Yeah.
and yeah, but yeah, I grew up going there as a kid, and I loved it. And then when I lived in the city, I would go to the Pequods on Clybourne Avenue.
Yeah, very good. First concert. So the first major concert. I'm not talking about, you know, something you see in a park. I mean, when you
Yeah.
paid money, you bought tickets, you went to it. First concert you went to.
Rush at the
Aye.
Aragon Ballroom.
Yes.
I was in that
great
alley
answer.
waiting.
Wow.
What,
that was
Oh, who was the drummer on that show? Was it Neil?
Neil was, yeah.
Was it?
This
Okay.
goes
Wasn't sure
This
when
goes
you.
way back. Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Neil, though.
It wasn't John.
Rhodesy.
It wasn't John. But I think they had April Wine as the backup group.
Nice. Canada's own product, you know, like good stuff. What year was that? What tour do you remember?
Oh my God. You know what? I'll have to research that because that's a great question. I don't have the exact year, but it was in the 70s.
Okay, yeah. I just wasn't sure if it was like Farewell to Kings or, you know.
I think, you know what? I do think it was Farewell to Kings.
Yeah.
Mike. I do think so.
Yeah, that was just me thinking about, like, you know, mid 70s. What album was out? What were they been touring on?
Next rapid fire question, please.
Hey, these are rapid fire. That is the most rapid fire you can get. I've been waiting all show to talk about this. Favorite ice cream.
Favorite ice cream. I love vanilla, believe it or not. I'm a plain guy in terms of ice cream, but I love I love actually that vanilla bean ice cream.
There it
'cause
is. I was going to give a follow-up question to that. Any type of vanilla? French
Yes.
vanilla, home vanilla.
Vanilla
home
bean is.
style.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, the vanilla bean really, I mean that absolutely, I would agree with you. That's just got a certain taste to it. It's so good. And it's so plain, but it tastes awesome. You don't even have to put
Yes.
chocolate, syrup and all the other crap
Nope.
on it. Just a little bowl of
Next
that.
rapid fire question.
Rapid fire, Mike. Why you busting my hump? All right, last question.
Is there a
Oh, you
rabbit in your
could
phone?
keep on going.
I'm just
I
gonna
don't
say,
care.
well,
I have-
we got to wrap the show up sometime there, question guy.
Last question for Rob.
Okay.
Your favorite movie of all time. It could be an action, it could be a drama. I don't care. Is it The Godfather? Is it Scarface? Is it Showgirls? What is it?
Dracula, 1931 with Bela Lugosi.
Really?
Whoa.
Wow.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Wow. Really? Honestly? That's
Yeah.
it?
You're a freak.
Keep 'em coming,
You
Bongo.
have to think about that one, man.
Who's your absolute favorite musician of all time?
Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
Great answer.
I didn't see that coming either.
Neither
Saw the
did,
fenders on the
neither did the
wall. I kind of
monkeys.
figured.
What about the Pop-Tart, Mike? Come on.
Oh yeah, do you like Pop-Tarts?
I love Pop-Tarts. You got to have the strawberry Pop-Tarts.
You
There
got
it is.
man.
Oh.
Let me ask the question then. Follow question: with or without frosting?
I actually like it with frosting and toasted.
There you
Yes.
All right.
See?
Gotta be toasted, yeah.
Strawberry.
Duly noted for all the green rooms in the future. How do we book you, Rob, and the Generations? Do we get a hold of Joey on his teletype, or how do we?
You- Can he even take a text? That's the question. So you can go to robstepenmusic.com.
go. Mhm.
It's Rob Stepen, Stepen, music.com, and everything about our band is on there. There's actual shows on there, so you could hear us. There are sizzle reels, there's the media kits, there's pictures of the band, there's the charities that we have, there's merch, there's, you name it, everything's on there. And then if you scroll to the bottom, there's this link tree on the bottom. So all our social media, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube. So that's one way. And then Joey is another way. You want to book us, get a hold of my dear buddy, Joey DeMarco, and I'm sure he will take care of you.
Is that Joey DeMarco of United Talent?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
UTC.
Joey DeMarco, United Talent, the Joey DeMarco.
There you go.
And he's,
Rob,
like I said, he's a friend of mine.
Can we
He's good
get
guy.
you to come out to the Yacht Rock show at the Vixen on September 28th? I mean, it's a 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
2 p.m. Let me see. Hang on one second.
Hold on,
What
can we get you to
day?
play?
Oh, there you go. Do you want me or just
Yeah.
Generations?
I know a guy that can always get somebody on that stage. So if you're interested, we'll make
Yeah,
it.
why don't we do a one-off, and then I could see what I got going on. I would love to. I would love to be a part of what you guys do and pay it
Likewise.
forward for you.
Absolutely.
I
And
think it
it'd
would be a
be-
gas to have you on the stage with us.
Awesome.
Yes, I think it would be. Now, it's my turn to ask some questions, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So, who plays in a band now, and who actually would like to play in a band now?
Rhodesy.
Why do I always have to go first?
Rhodesy.
Yes, you're going first.
play in
Well,
many
I'm
bands, Rhodesy.
the drummer for hire, so I get to play with a lot of different people.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I've played with 7, 8, maybe 9 bands this year. So I get around.
He's our whore.
As far as I do say, sometimes it'd be nice to play the same 40 songs over and over and over and over again for a while. But, kind of what I'm doing right now kind of keeps me on my toes for sure. I'll play
All right, so
country one weekend and then play metal the next weekend and play classic rock and so on and so
Do you
on.
want to join a band? Are you looking to join a band? Remember, I talk to a lot of musicians, and they're always looking for people.
Yeah,
See,
of
if he's a
course.
drummer for hire, yes.
Yeah,
Rhodes,
of course.
All right. I will definitely keep my eyes and ears open for you, Rhodesy.
Appreciate
And
it.
I will give a plug for Rhodes. He's one of the most versatile drummers I know. When he says he plays
Nice.
metal to country to classic, I mean, the guy, he does it. He learns. As a matter of fact, I've got a reunion show coming up with my band Friction. We haven't played together in, I think, 5 or 6 years. Our drummer lives in Florida. So as we're rehearsing, getting ready for our show in October, Rhodesy has learned our set list, which is probably 25, 26 songs, of which there's some originals in there. So he's definitely a guy that will get my endorsement.
Medleys. There's a couple medleys.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. But he'll
Rhodesy, Rhodesy, you're in a band. We're going to continue with Rob's question, but to close it out, Rhodesy,
Yes, sir.
what shows do you have coming up?
Playing with Focal Point this coming Saturday, which is the 23rd,
Nice.
at Mad Cats in Pelican.
Okay.
All right, turn your drums to the side, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not enough room.
Bring your Neil Peart kit.
Bring
All
your
right,
snare drum.
continue.
You could bring like this snare drum. See, I got a whole
Oh,
kit back there
There
too.
it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
I won't bring my bell brass, I promise.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. All right. Who's next?
Bongo.
So
Bongo.
mine, I'm a percussionist. I could do drums. I don't do drums. I play percussion. Black Diamond Sessions, The Mosquitoes, Soundtracks of a Generation, Derek Prosell and the All Star Mojo Band, and I'm a fill-in for Anchors Away. Jim Palucci has me I'm kind of like when he needs me, but I've only done one so far, but I'm a fill-in. In terms of bands that I've sat in with, I think I was counting one time the bands that I've got up and played a song or whatever.
More than me.
It's like in the 20s. Now Rhodesy is our backup drummer for the Mosquitoes, so I get to play alongside him.
But let me get this correct. You both are drummers, so you have like a Doobie Brothers thing happening, or Genesis, or
well, I do
because you're you do percussion. Oh, he does drums.
Yeah.
You do
Bongo
percussion.
Mike's
Got
the
it.
chiropractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Not
now
a
it
real
makes
drummer,
sense.
really.
Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of interesting how that happens. The percussion. There's not a lot of percussion players out there. There's a lot of drummers. There's a lot of guitar players. There's a lot of bass players. There's not a lot of percussion players. So I kind of like the niche that I've. The lane I'm in is nice because I don't got a lot of traffic.
Well, we would love you to guest at one time when we play, Africa. I mean, that's
There
a
you
total
go.
percussion.
We're gonna do it. We're playing it on the 28th
Rock
at the Coterie.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd love to come there.
Synergy.
For something like that, I could bring. I got I don't know somewhere in the neighborhood of about 80 drums, so I could come there and I could play a djembe. I could play congas. So you tell me. And
Wait. Mike's got to play washboard.
That's right. And he plays the washboard.
I do.
So if you got like a stuck in the middle of the
Oh,
game
man.
or
Mungo
something like
Jerry,
that,
baby. Mungo Jerry.
Mike is your guy.
Yeah.
We'll definitely each of us have to have one-on-ones after this. Okay, so we've got either Pete or Mike D.
Mikey Dermont. He's got a show coming up.
Yeah, so I'm not in an active band. We talked about that. I'm not looking to join a band. I'm a project guy. If something comes my way and someone wants to get together and do something, I will participate in it. I'm a vocalist. I play a little bit of guitar, but I'm certainly not Jimi Hendrix style. I know that's your favorite musician, but always looking to get involved with something. And even if it's just coming out to lay down a couple songs with someone just to help out,
Right.
That's my thing, man. Absolutely.
Okay, now that I know you're a vocalist, because I'm always looking for vocalists.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
Absolutely.
And Pete, you play bass, but are you
No,
playing out?
Root no Pete. I don't play well with others, so I do podcasts.
Okay.
I've been working on my
used to play bass
my emotional quotient.
in Libertyville, didn't I? Where did you play with the Blondie band? Was it Mickey Finn's?
Mickey Finn's.
Right?
Mickey Finn's, yeah.
I saw you there. Yeah.
You were there?
Got it. Yes, I was there. Well,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I was
Thanks
there.
for stopping up and saying hi to Pete.
I did say hi to him, and I said hi to Lori, and I told Lori how I knew her from Bitch, and her jaw dropped. Talked to Sophie, talked to Jen. I think I talked to almost everybody in that band. So.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I think that was our last show, and that That's why this is called Hogpod, because Heart of Glass.
We didn't rebrand. We didn't rebrand.
Okay, I love it. All right,
I want to keep the users.
One last question.
Go.
All right, so if you were to write an original song today, would you get some help from AI?
It's a great question.
Yes.
See, I'm giving you guys questions for your next Hogpod.
I absolutely would, because my spelling is terrible, and again, I have ADD. I got to stay focused on something, so I need the framework to keep me in the guardrails.
And I can't read music.
I like the idea of using it to help.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a songwriter, so I mean, maybe they'd have to do the whole thing for me.
Right. No.
It could. It's getting to a point where it's, number one, obviously lyrics and tunes and, different musical parts. It probably could teach you how to play certain, parts. So I think that, it's interesting. Everybody asks me, because I work for an HR company with Insperity, they ask me, is AI going to take over? I say, no, there's no way that AI could take over the human element of HR. Similarly, in music, while there's parts that can help.
You just lost me, Rob.
You and I definitely have to have a conversation, not only about music, but
everything
you're talking about. I use in my industry as well.
I'm just thinking about Toby from The Office.
I'm sorry if I lost you, Pete. In HR, you have to have a person that think about the HR office. You go to the HR office. Anyways, I'm sorry if I lost you. Anyways, within music, same thing. While it could help aid with certain aspects of music, and especially with words. Hey, I can't get these words right or whatever. Here's the verse and the chorus I came up with. Can you come up with another verse for me, or a line? Yeah, it could help with that. There's no doubt. But to take over the mechanical end of it, you got to have feelings. Just like I remember when the drum machine came out. Who remembers that? I remember that, and they thought that was it. There's drum machine and sampling and all this other stuff. Where's the feel from the drummer? Yeah. With the sequencer, where's the feel from the bass player? While it could help aid in certain Peter Gabriel songs were really cool with the drum machine, the Lynn drum machine. He still had a regular Manu Cachet, playing drums, and that guy, hit him hard. So
yeah, for sure.
I could talk to you guys forever. You guys
Rob,
are awesome.
You're coming back. You're gonna help us interview other people, man. You got
man. Get those questions ready.
Yeah.
And I just whipped these off the top of my head. So any questions you guys need from your future, podcasts, great. Now Beth tells me that this will air
a week.
In a week?
Week from tomorrow, Tuesday.
Okay. And you guys have a big following, she said.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got our niche, Rob. We got our niche. I think I always bring up Reggie's. I like what they do with the video setup that they have. I think there could be a local music MTV one day where people are all, fewer people are going out. I think we can get in everybody's living rooms through somehow like this to expose people to bands. I think that can only help if we can get past the AI.
And as you see here, this is all about Chicago music. Yeah, we talk about national stuff every now and then, but the whole idea here is to promote this community, whether it's cover, it's original, it's club owners, it's booking agents. Our whole purpose and goal here is really just to keep that growing and spread the word, because we've got a great thing here in Chicago, and we want to make sure that everyone knows about it. And we don't get political, right, Pete?
Unless you're in a band. Rob, what do you kick off? What should we kick the show off with? What song that I can find on the interweb?
From you, Rob.
From you.
I think we did a sizzle reel. I don't know if Beth gave you that. That's the one with Surrender. kick it off with that. There's
All right.
there's pictures. You know, if you need pictures from displays, I can.
Give me
your
B-roll,
email.
Yeah.
If you get me like your email address. Do you have my email address?
I think I do here in Zoom. Yes.
Yeah. So just email me, and I'll get you a bunch of pictures from the Des Plaines Theater,
Genius.
including I think I may have an autographed picture on the door. So that would be cool, right? Yeah. So yeah, whatever you guys need, I can help you out with that. I can even show you, like when I had my phone and I asked the crowd to shout out the name of one of our songs.
I'm going to put it right
here. They
here.
did, and I have a picture of the crowd. So yeah, I have a bunch of fun stuff. If you give me your cell phone on the email, I'll text you a bunch of things.
The minute this show is over, you'll get a message right away, sir. Rob Stepen, thank you so much. Mikey Dermont, Bongo Mike, Chris Rhodesy, are you the John?
There he is.
Chris,
he had to go feed the cat.
Meow. Boy,
Thank
stay
you,
dry
guys.
out there.
pleasure to
Rob.
meet you, Rob.
What
Yeah,
a pleasure.
Rob, thank you so
Nice
much.
to meet all you guys.
Bye,
Yes.
guys.